The Senate held a hearing today on what some pro-lifers call the most radical pro-abortion bill ever considered by Congress. As Paul Strand reports from Capitol Hill, bill sponsors say they're trying to undo a rash of state laws meant to restrict abortion. But opponents warn it's a serious attack on states' rights and makes the so-called right to an abortion almost sacred.
The Senate is now considering a bill that many pro-life groups warn would gut almost every meaningful restriction on abortion.
The bill being advanced today would literally overturn hundreds of pro-life, pro-women laws across the country. We're talking laws to end sex selection abortion, third trimester abortions, abortion on babies that are more than 5 months old and capable of feeling pain. This is an extreme bill.
Why would Democrat lawmakers push such a bill in a country that polls suggest is becoming increasingly pro-life?
Well, it might be that they're looking to the November 2014 elections and the fact that they might well lose control of the Senate. So they could see this as a last do-or-die chance to pass any serious liberal legislation.
And co-sponsors of this bill say it's needed to counteract what they label underhanded laws, supposedly meant to protect women's health, but actually aimed at curbing abortions. In just the last 3 years,
states across this country have enacted a total of 205 provisions that restrict women's access to safe abortion services.
These obstacles have put many women in desperate circumstances, some of which may very well endanger their lives. We need laws that put women's health and safety first, not politics.
200 of these underhanded laws have been passed, and it is not right that women should have to go to court year after year after year to get the medical services that the Constitution guarantees them.
But some testifying at this hearing said the bill is actually an unconstitutional attack on the states.
Essentially, this law guts states' rights with respect to abortion. It creates abortion as a special protected class of procedure and abortion providers as a special protected class of providers.
And Representative Marsha Blackburn warned Democrats they're risking the wrath of voters by appearing so enamored of abortion rights.
Many of your constituents perceive that this body is out of touch with the consensus opinion in this country. Public opinion polls show time and again that the American people support limits on abortion.
Paul Strand, CBN News, Capitol Hill.
Carol Tobias was at that Senate hearing today, and she is with the National Right to Life. Carol, you actually got to testify at the hearing today. What did you tell senators?
I laid out for the Senate Judiciary Committee what the problems with this bill is. They call it the Women's Health Protection Act, but a more accurate name would be Abortion Without Limits Until Birth Act, because that's really what it would do. So I laid out the different problems with this bill and all the laws that it would actually wipe out that have been enacted by state legislative elected officials in the state legislatures.
So abortion without limits until birth? Can you elaborate on that for me?
This bill would set up a process whereby any law that is specifically targeted toward abortion would be invalid. If it didn't mention abortion, but it imposed any kind of limit or restriction that would reduce access to abortion, it would be invalid. And they have it laid out so that even the abortionist would get to determine what, in his best medical judgment, is, some of the provisions or the provisions that would not be allowed. So this bill would wipe out conscience clauses allowing medical professionals to refuse to participate in the abortion process. It would wipe out right to know and informed consent provisions so that women would not have to be given information about the abortion process and alternatives that are available, along with the risks that would accompany the procedure. It would wipe out bans on abortions after viability. 10 states have passed a law, the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, saying that once the unborn child can feel pain about 20 weeks after fertilization, the abortion would not be allowed. This bill would wipe all of that out, and it would basically be the abortion industry self-regulating itself.
What are the chances of this thing passing?
We don't know if it would pass in the Senate, but we actually challenged the Judiciary Committee. Senator Blumenthal is sponsor of this bill. He chaired the committee hearing, and we challenged him to actually bring this bill to the floor for a vote.
Well, how can viewers make their voices heard on this issue?
Well, they can certainly contact their senators and encourage a vote on this bill, letting them know that they oppose It's S-1696, the so-called Women's Health Protection Act. But they could do that through our website, nrlc.org. We have a mechanism where they can send a little note to their senators letting them know that they oppose the bill, but that they would like to have it voted on. And just telling friends and family what this bill would do. It's the most radical abortion bill that has ever been introduced into Congress.
Carol Tobias with the National Right to Life. Thanks for your time, Carol.
My pleasure. Thank you.